Hello everyone, and welcome in a new video. This is a totally different banger, and it was oddly as satisfying and a better experience than I did expect. I think forcing myself to think into orthodox methods will yield an average result and gameplay. But guys, let's leave this game just between you and me. If Riot find out about that this is possible, I think they will nerf Volibear sooner than expected. Also in this game I was forced to go the regular path where you either set up your gank towards top or mid because for some unknown reason, Mordekaiser and Xerath were dancing or guarding or whatever they were doing in that bush. Whatever. The invade strategy is very effective against players that relay on their ultimate spell to impact the game. And since the bear is made to be a powerhouse that fall out in the later stages of the game, we will be going for the very old strategy, and that is damage wins games. We gank, build damage, and close the game as early as possible. That was a tiny bit lucky. This is the difference between Platinum and Emerald ELO. The higher tier mid laner will run to the river and ask help either from the jungler or the enemy bot side, since running to his tower is a death path. Yes, I went for the toxic rune, and that is press the ad carry. This rune is made for early game plays and late game, and it falls a bit in the mid game. And the reason I took this rune is mainly to get solo kills, nothing more and nothing less. Also, it synergizes very well with Volibear. Similar to Pantheon, the only issue is that once you proc this rune, you need to lead with a better spell to do huge damage, and that is either your E or ultimate. It almost made me laugh, to be honest. That was the best BM in League of Legends. You engage and then you disconnect. Since we can't trust this guy's connectivity, I will no longer bless that area with my presence and simply focus on other lanes for now. Yeah, that was a sad encounter. I'm not a Katarina player, but I think she failed her combo or something like that. The fact that she went over into diving Xerath means that tilt is on the way. In reality, I'm in a weird situation. I really want to deny Shyvana the Drakes, but our support connection is not reliable. On the other hand, we have Jax and Lucian, and they are both heavy auto-attack champions plus Bear, meaning the grubs will give us a lot of structure damage. I'll just roll with my gut. We get what we can for free, then let's see if we can pull something off. I'm sure that even if the enemy gets the Drake, we will get some kills out of it. What the hell am I watching? I think this is the first wave of the week where League players are still adapting to the end of the weekend. Enemy bot side is not helping. Shyvana and my mid laner is running to the midway, but we managed to get the Drake in the Drake. I feel that this game will be a funny one. It feels that no one is knowing what to do. Even Lucian is randomly dying to a rat with a bow and sewage liquid. The one important thing to keep in our mind is that we truly don't care what happens to our team as long as we are getting something out of it. Then if that occurs, we are totally fine with whatever outcome we get. Now you might wonder, what are we building? And the answer is simple. We are going for Eclipse Rush into Sundered Sky and end with a defensive item, either Canik Rookern or Spirit Visage, depending on how the game will go. But why? Well, for the main reason we mentioned earlier. Fat, juicy, big damage win games, and also, I don't know what to build against their composition. I guess we found our first specimen to test our damage on. I feel a bit disrespected right now, but to be honest, I don't blame him. Volibear roll ratio is 10-1 between top and jungle. Maybe that is why mid laners don't feel the heat facing the bear. Even Katarina is impressed. And we shouldn't forget that he had his barrier up. Plays like these give me the feeling that Volibear doesn't need a buff, but also the fact that he doesn't have flash made that play look so easy. The other alternative is that we would embrace ourselves and die a horrible death, and a buff would make getting normal kills natural. Now, we are in a great spot. We got all the grubs and we have enough gold to get our core item. If I had my ultimate up, this excuse for a dragon would be turned into a shoe or a belt. But let's run away to fight another day. From that play, we can say for sure that our team doesn't have the best map awareness. This scenario always occurs against Shyvana as Volibear, but for the first time I feel I have the edge in each duel. I feel I am forcing her to use her ultimate knowing I wouldn't have to use mine. Sadly, my bot side back to get items. I think they are a duo and they are communicating when to back and what to do. In other words, they are their own team. For now, let's not rely much on them and focus on topside to get Herald buff. So while I was getting myself some items, topside decided to brawl his way to victory. It is respectable and only questionable if you are doing so while we are setting up for the objective. The odd thing is that with all this damage, I didn't even get one kill or assist. I think I messed up my path and I had to kite towards their exit route. Let's settle now for the main objective. We managed to get their summoner's spells without dying, and that is a huge against the enemy solo laners. I am playing a bit solo in this game, never expecting other players to follow my play. I tried this strategy now for 3 games, and it worked very well, until the enemy team starts to hug and hold hands in the mid to late game, mostly the support to be honest. If their support is good, then the task of getting solo kills becomes very hard. Right now, let's tag along with our Jax and try to get the enemy inhibitors. The bastard ditched me just like that. At least he could have left the Herald. The funny part, I went and engaged, and I was expecting the second crash any minute until it was few seconds later that I noticed that the Herald is alive and roaming the map. Betrayed by my own men, this is the sad life of the jungler. Let not stress out too much on the small details. Let's not count this death. We are keeping a clean game nevertheless. I can back and get Sundered Sky, but I feel against this team. Just having Eclipse against Squishes is pretty strong. Yep, we are scratching off Trinity against Squishy team and we are going to run Eclipse in the near future. This feels pretty good. If you are feeling that we are slowly losing the control of the game, then you are correct. This is happening for one main reason. We have too many shot callers. It might seem this is just random events, but in reality we have Rel with her ad carry that is trying to make plays, Jax who isn't sure about splitting or grouping, and Katarina waiting for me to make any sort of picks or skirmishes to clean up the fight. In these situations, what you need to do is shadowing someone who you feel the correct play will come out of them. Jax has been showing good results throughout the game, hence we will put everything into a halt and try to make small plays around the jungle to destabilize the enemy team. It doesn't matter if they get Baron or more Drakes. The important thing is to know exactly what is going on in every stage of the game as a jungler. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we stopped the Baron power push. It didn't take much of effort, to be honest, just careful planning and some patience. And this is because the enemy team has experienced somewhat the same fate that we are struggling with, but we shouldn't forget, they have the better opening hand. In other words, the Rat Engage is one of the best team fight starts in League of Legends, and currently I am saving my spells just for that. Oh, it was very close. I think if I had any other build except for Trinity Force, I would have died, of course would have died also. Also, I managed to pinpoint his location and you can do that also. It is simple and not that hard. Just try to imagine the same average distance between you and your allies. That will be the same with the enemy. Even Zera's movements will reflect the movements of Twitch. The rest is just a bit of luck and patience. It might not work perfectly every game, but you will be around the target to either stun or nuke, depending on the build. Everything with Eclipse feels good. The shield, the extra damage, and it is relatively cheap as a first item. The only issue with this item is if you don't get to buy it early in the game and you fall off. You'll be dead weight for your team. You can't burst anyone, and you are super squishy. This build isn't a creation of my own. I kept tinkering with lolalytics.com until it appeared to me with 68% win rate 2 items and that Eclipse with Sundered Sky. And I said, well, the moment I won't know what to build, you'll be up for a ride, and it was truly a nice experience. Well, here we are again. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't make a stupid play. At this instance, I got too hyped with the build. There was a tiny polar bear in my mind screaming, "We can't lose, we can't die, we are inting." I think the team ditched me as usual, since no one can catch up with the bear's engage except for the horse and the turtle. This shall be a reminder. If you are ahead, let others do stupid plays and you reap the kills and farm. And as a jungler after the 20 minutes, I shouldn't die at all no matter what. The enemy only reward for your death is the jungler buff. But this is not LCS or LCK. We are just 10 random people trying to kill each other for no particular reason. And good coordination is not on the menu. Hence, one moment you are losing, the other one you are winning. And sometimes you are simply just inting out of tilt. We managed to get the Baron and the Drake, and the major lesson that we learned from this game is that catching people off guard is the easiest, sure method to ensure that your lead is always getting pushed further. The odd thing is that we went from even to losing into hard winning in this game. If only the enemy team kept their cool and composure. I feel that the rat with Shyvana engage would have wiped us out. She would suicide to drag attention, and he would follow with a cleanup. And to be honest, the rest of their team should have played a more of a support role to guarantee the success of this plan. With this, my dear friends, that was the last play of this video. As usual, make sure to leave me a comment about your Volibear adventures, like and subscribe. If I get any free time, I'll post this video in the middle of the week. Means it will be only 1 or 2 days before Volibear buffs will go live, and then we go spamming all weekend and we either reach high emerald or demote back to gold. Thank you all for watching, and see you again in the next video. Peace.